Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of the House of Moody Vintage podcast. It is episode 22. Great to have you back. Great to be back. Another wonderful weekend that we went through. The weather has been a little unpredictable. It's been heavy rains here in Bangkok, and humidity still high, but not too. I mean, it's tolerable. It's tolerable. I do not know why I'm talking like the weatherman. But hey, listen, man, I'm just loving my life. You know what I mean? I'm loving my life. I'm living it. Okay, as usual. Had a good weekend. Great weekend. One of one of my Bangkok mains. Right. I think it was a little too harsh on that cock part. Apologies. One of my Bangkok mains is back in town and everything's back to normal, sort of like the back to your regular scheduled program kind of thing, and had a nice little of course, if you follow me on Instagram, you know all the fantastical things that happened over the weekend. Spent some quality time with the usual suspects, had great, amazing food, had great, fantastic drinks, so that's what Saturday was all about. Just hung out, it just really feels good to go back to the regular scheduled program. You know what I mean? Like not all of us. One member is still missing. She's on the air. She's on the air now, coming back from Europe. And so she'll be here tomorrow afternoon. So then my Bangkok family will be complete. There was something I didn't want to talk about. I didn't want to mention, but probably because I might have gotten maybe emotional if I brought this up in the last episode. But the weekend before, another very good friend of mine went off to Australia for good. She'll be back, during, I guess, next summer vacay, something like that along those lines. So looking forward to that when she gets back. But she's in Australia doing her thing. Like I said, I mentioned before in a couple of episodes ago, everyone's sort of like making moves and different stages in their life. And it's a beautiful thing to see them move on and take on new challenges, right? Giving you a chance to grow. The ability to grow, to be better, a better version of yourself, see the world, which is, I think, even more important, to be in a different place, different city, different country, different culture, all of that is just an amazing, enriching type of feeling, fulfilling type of feeling. So, good on her. So, Pear, I miss you, love you. I know it's still quite very fresh in Australia, because, she's down under in Australia. Down under, mate, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, that was, apologies. Did you hear how I was trying to refrain myself from doing that? And then I just sort of came out like if someone was trying to beat it out of me. Anyways, with that said, we will move on to the next segment of the episode. So back to the to the weekend. Had a great time, and this is something that I'm finally going to talk about, and I thought it was like a perfect timing to do it. It's something that I sort of briefly left off in the last episode, about the whole how, we sort of revert back to like not necessarily childish things, but things that we've probably done in our youth, and how things have changed, how we evolved, right? So, and what I'm basically going to discuss is something that it's just me regurgitating what I talked about with a friend of mine last night. Oh my God. So I just had a very good, solid conversation with a very good friend of mine who is, she's in the UK right now. And so we just had planned to, have one of those, let's have an update kind of phone calls, right? And it just, I wasn't planning the conversation to be as long as it was. But I guess, when you're so locked into a convo, when you're so comfortable talking to somebody, it can go on for God knows how long. My plan was, and my schedule now, I got to wake up early in the morning. So staying up late is not unless I have to absolutely, like it's an absolute must. Like I have to stay up because of work. or something like that, that's an exception. But on a, on a regular, the only time I can really go to sleep late is, during the weekends, right? Makes sense because it's a work week. It's different. And so that was the plan, to go to sleep early, get in bed, and then read I was going to read a book and knock out as usual. Well, she calls me, my friend calls me and she's like, hey, we're supposed to have that, that phone call. I'm like, damn it. That's one of the pain in the asses of, being in a different time zone, right? Especially when, she's all the way in the UK. I'm here in Bangkok. And I was like, oh, you know what? She's right. We're supposed to have that talk, have the convo. And we did. And that damn convo lasted 3 fucking hours. Okay? But it was like, it was a proper, it was a proper convo, when you, as in like it's a proper update. She updated things about her life and me doing my part. And, it was sort of like she did an hour and a half, I did an hour and a half, and it totaled into 3 hours. And so it's something that I had discussed with her as well. And so I'm basically regurgitating this, and I think it sort of falls into place because I was going to discuss this anyway on today's episode, among other things. So let me just get right into it, right? So what happened on Saturday, right? Saturday, I was over at my friend's house. We're all, like I said earlier, great food, great drinks. We go up to the pool, chill there for a bit, for quite some time, hanging out, drank some more. I had about like 4 glasses of wine, 3 glasses of wine, 3 glasses of wine, and then a cocktail, and then from there we went to a bar. So it's like, oh, okay, let's escalate this like we usually do. So, we were up at this nice little bar, rooftop bar. It's next to the river. And I forgot the name of the bar. 342, I think it's called. If I remember correctly, I think it's called 342. Anyway, so it's by the river, rooftop kind of deal thing. And it was, it's good times. I had another cocktail there. So that's 3 glasses of wine, 2. But here's the thing, though. I didn't feel drunk, which is weird. Oh, no, it's not weird because we had so much goddamn food. So that kind of canceled it out, it absorbed all that alcohol. So, we had a good time, and someone else joined us. So a young lady had joined us, a young lady that I know, a young lady that I sort of interacted with at Sing Sing over a month ago or so, right? I'm not going to say her name, or I'm not going to give any specific characteristics out because, privacy reasons. Why the hell would I, put somebody on blast? Especially someone who doesn't deserve it. But, so this is what happened. All right. Now I'm having a good time. We're having a good time. She joins us and I was like, let me just get this over with, because this young lady has been trying to spend more time. If you catch my drift, you know what I'm saying? And what happened was, for those, just a little refresher, this is the same young lady that when I say hook up, it's an old school term, like from my era. Hooking up doesn't necessarily mean you are sleeping with this person, or that you've slept with this person, or that you had sex, or blah, blah, whatever. Hooking up it could be like, second base shit, you know what I mean? Like making out. Right. And so it's safe to say that's all it was at the club. Okay. Now, when homegirl's ex-boyfriend showed up, that's when I was completely turned off, because I don't like the whole baggage thing. I know my friends are listening to this like, what? Oh, really? Really, motherfucker? Like, yo, like, who were you attracted to? Crazy ass bitches. That's who you attracted to. They crazy ass, toxic ass hoes. That's your type. I don't have a type, all right? I know I make fun of myself. I don't have a type. But according to my friends who apparently know me so fucking well, that's all I'm attracted to is young, crazy women. Apparently, that's the criteria. Anyways, so this particular young lady is not crazy, okay? I can rest assured. That's probably why I didn't really pursue it. Anyways, let me get distracted here. I'm just gonna sort of analyzing it as I'm like, discussing this or putting this out on air. She's no, listen, like before I get into the details or whatever, or as much as I can actually disclose, she's a very lovely young lady. She's very nice. There's nothing, whatever. She's cool. She's a cool person. She's a person that's, it's all good. It's all right. But so she's there. She joins us, and we're all having a good time, conversing and things like that. But it's just, after my friends left, she and I, it was just me and her hanging out, right? It wasn't a date. It wasn't a date, anything like that. But, however, so we went to a restaurant that's like open 24 hours, which is like one of my favorite places. It's called 25 Degrees. It's very it's just consistent. It's like a really nice, comfortable place to go to. Even if it's like the late hours. And of course you're behaving yourself. It's a classy joint, but not like, it's not bougie. You know what I mean? It's a classy joint, but not bougie. You can still have fun there, have a great time there. Without, of course, being too ratchet, right? So we go there, and we're just hanging out, and we're sitting there next to each other. I was like, you know what? Let me sit next to you. Cool. Now, if you were a patron at this establishment, and you saw us sitting next to each other, right, shoulder to shoulder, we're kind of like, just speaking amongst ourselves, the volume is, that's one thing I sort of enjoyed, is because the setting was intimate, but it wasn't intentional. Do you get what I'm saying? We were comfortable with each other enough to be that close to each other. But if anybody else saw, you'd probably assume that, oh, these two are together, or they're on a date, or they're in a relationship, or whatever, right? That was sort of like the body language for both of us. Because we're just comfortable, and it wasn't the first time we hung out. This was this was actually the second time we hung out. But see, that's what it was. That's how the sort of interaction was. But I figured soon enough, and our previous engagement at the club probably had a lot to do with it. The fact that I was already turned off and I wasn't trying to pursue anything with this young lady because of that drama. But even then, I felt like, I don't know, something wasn't sort of, the chemistry wasn't there, sort of kind of deal, And like I said, she's a lovely young lady, no issues there. Anyway, so as we're conversing, we're talking about it, and we were probably there for about like a little over an hour, like a solid hour, I would say. I would say a solid hour. But there I am. And we're having the conversation, but at the same time, I'm not 100% fully focused on her, which is usually the case. If it's a young lady that I, if she was a woman that I was really attracted to and I was trying to pursue, 100%, focus would just be on her and only her, right? But there was a football match going on in the background, okay? It's Manchester City with Liverpool. And it was the Community Shield, right? Right before the Premier League kicks off. But I was watching the match. So instantly I knew, I was like, in my head, I was going, I want to go home. I want to take a shower and just knock out, just go to bed, right? That was sort of like my intention. Like, okay, we spent about over an hour here. I just want to, not even an hour. I think like halfway through it, I was like, oh my God, how do I get out of this? Right? How do I get out of this? But in a good, in a nice way, not in a rude way, obviously. Like I said, she didn't, the situation didn't warrant for me to behave any other way. I wouldn't be rude in the first place to begin with, but I was looking for a way out, and it was clear. And she was giving me plenty of hints, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay? You know what I'm talking about? And she had her friends were calling her. Apparently they were drunk or whatever. Drunk calling her multiple times when we were talking. So I'm thinking very, sort of cinematically, or something that you would see on a TV show or in a movie where, the girl's friends calls to get her out of it, to have her bail. That wasn't the case, because she stuck around, and she just kept dropping hints like, oh, she brought up the whole, so how do you feel like, being single and all that stuff? How do you feel like, hooking up, like having a one night stand kind of thing? Like that's what she was cleverly trying to like dip into it, like, and I was just sitting there, I'm like, oh, I know where you trying to go, girl. That ain't happening, I just wasn't 100%. I'm just being honest with y'all. Honest. What do you mean honest? Like it's just fact. I just wasn't. I was just not mentally stimulated by her. The personalities didn't really. There was no spark there of any kind. Besides the flirtation, but flirtation is so surface level bullshit to a certain point, right? In that kind of situation, but I wasn't looking for more than, the dynamic between us felt like we were just friends, like someone I would hang out with, and that's it. We're cool, we're chilling, we're friends. That's it. We were. It's not we were like doing anything, but the body language was very comfortable, like I said, and that's all there was to it. And people would probably perceive it as they're probably gonna, they're together or whatever. But clearly that wasn't the case. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, yeah, it just wouldn't happen. Like and I get it, and I'm like, I admire her for doing that, trying to pursue, and she was just, she's still fresh off kind of a breakup, right? So she's trying to, and she was saying that it's I don't know why, I guess she was feeling insecure or whatever, but she was like, yeah, it's cool that I'm talking to like all these like different guys, right? I'm like, yeah, you're fucking single. Absolutely, you should be talking to more, but you're single. You should be talking. Ain't nothing wrong with talking to like multiple dudes, like different dudes. Like you're just having fun, and you're trying to explore, and that's cool. That's totally fine, 100% totally fine. And but to me, it's just like, and to be fair, she was vulnerable a couple of times, which I really appreciated. Like we had more like serious conversations and things like that, and that's what it really was. It was like two, individuals who are in, she's in her mid-30s, I'm a little older, and we were just talking about like fucking reality of like people of our age, and we both agreed, which was, again, like I said, the moments of vulnerabilities were very much appreciated because we agreed on a lot of things, in the sense that people, relationships are different now for as you get older. When you're different stages in your life, it's different now. It's so fucking hard. And I told her this. It's so fucking hard to meet someone new and then invest your energy and time and all that effort, investing yourself emotionally, mentally, like it's a lot of fucking work, and it's rare to click with someone, you know what I mean, to have that chemistry, to have that that rapport, like it's, you know what I mean, just like it's different now. We don't have that same type of energy, and we're very selective on certain things, whether it's like the close group of friends we have, or I don't know, if we're trying to get into a relationship, what, you know what I mean? Like it's changed now. And I'm just sitting there. So I was like, sort of, like I said, I'm just regurgitating what I was telling my friend last night on the phone, is that there's a lot of things that as you get older, there's no two ways about it, right? It's kind of like scientific fact. As you get older, and people say, oh, age is just a number. Within context, I get it. It's different. The meaning is different, but when people say age is just a number, age has a lot to do with a lot, Age has a lot to do with a lot. There's no, like I said, there's no two ways about it. As you get older, you simply experience more. And hopefully you've learned from your mistakes, or even if it is a positive outcome, you get something out of that as well. You learn, you continue to learn. And I always say this to people, fucking learn. It can be the smallest thing. It could be like you're watching a movie on, Netflix or whatever, and you just want to do some Google research on, hey, where did they shoot this film? What was the location, or what was this based on this book or that or story or whatever. Like even those little things that you take the initiative to do, when you're proactive about those things and you want to learn more, that's great. And I'm such a huge advocate of that. Even if it isn't like, even if it isn't a academic pursuit, you should want to learn more. That is so good for your brain. It's so healthy for your brain, because when you get older, certain people, deal with dementia and all that stuff. And, it's such a terrible disease, right? Alzheimer's and all that stuff. It sucks. So I'm all about cherishing, learning about new things, learning about new cultures or languages or history or whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're interested in, you should want to learn more about it. And that's fucking cool. That's a cool thing to do, right? So as you get older, like I said, you're just better equipped to navigate through life's challenges, right? Especially in relationships. So as I'm talking about the conversation I had with this young lady, I knew already immediately that this was not going to go anywhere, right? At least intimacy level or romantically, it's not going to happen. That's not how the outcome is going to, that's not the outcome that I wanted. Or that's not the outcome, it's not the outcome that she's expecting, right? Because mine's totally different. I'm not willing to engage anymore. So that was my sort of conclusion to this interaction that we had together for an hour or whatever. We had a good conversation. It was nice. It was a cool conversation. But that's all it was. I cannot go home with any. First of all, I'm not that type. I am not the hit it and quit it, one night stand kind of. I can't do it. A lot of people do it. That's y'all shit. Good for y'all. It works for you. I'm not that dude. I have to be emotionally fucking invested into you. I have to be really fucking into you for me to even be turned on sexually, right? So forget that. If you're not mentally stimulating me and our personalities aren't really like, there's no spark, there's no chemistry there, forget about being turned on. I'm not even thinking about sex. It ain't happening. That's just me, right? That's just how I operate. Like that's, you know what I mean? And people always say, no, why don't you go out there and try it out and all this stuff? Dude, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. And so this past Saturday night was that don't. It's happening. And it's also something that's, I talked to another friend of mine. She's, she was telling me like, that's quite rare for you to say that, because usually the girls that you're interested in, you're attracted to, there's usually some kind of pursuit, right? There's some kind of pursuit. Even if nothing comes out of it, you're still like somehow engaged with this person. You're flirting with this person, like you haven't stopped. Like it's still going, right? And I was like, yeah, but this was one of those examples of me being older, or me being at this certain stage of my life where I simply know certain things to avoid and not indulge myself into it, or not, I guess just not go into something, blindly, without knowing the consequences and things like that. So I just can't be bothered with that, and the same thing that I was telling my friend, the night before or last night. Dude, when you get to this age, it's like your tolerance level for bullshit is zero. And I don't mean bullshit like in a very, like, not just negative stuff, negative things that people might throw at you, or situations that you get into that might be, shitty. Not in that form, but just bullshit in general. You know what I mean? Like something that causes annoyance, and I'm a positive dude. Like I try to be positive, like always, I'm always saying like, how do you think I live and love my life? Cause I'm just, that's just my attitude towards life. That's just my outlook on life. And so all of that just sort of, just built up and just made me realize a lot of things, and how that conversation ended with that young lady. And yeah, it's just, there's obviously certain people that I gravitate towards more. Not the crazy ones. I shouldn't say that. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. When I say that, obviously I'm joking around, right? Even though apparently, the crazy ass, brown women. I don't know. I'm attracted to the cuckoo. My apologies. But yeah, maybe that wasn't, she didn't meet the criteria. That's why the conversation didn't go anywhere after that. So my apologies. Wow. So yeah, anyway, so that was that over the weekend. And I don't know, I also sort of learned a little bit more about myself, to be honest, while I was sitting there. And it didn't really feel like a drag. It just felt like I needed to I needed to get it over with. I don't know. I can't find a really good word for that. I just didn't want to waste her time. I didn't want to waste my time, and that's that. And I think she totally kind of understood it, and I was being sweet and nice, and like letting her know in a very, sort of off-putting is not even the word for it, the term for it, but letting her know that, mira, mami, this this ain't gonna happen, like, I know you want me, but like, this is not going to happen, okay? I had like about 4 glasses of wine, okay? That's right, 4 glasses of wine. Then I had 2 cocktails, but mira, that wasn't enough, because like, I had so much food in me. I was like, okay, then it's all good. I had fun tonight. I hope you have fun too as well. So like, but I gotta go. So I left, and I went home, and I gave her a hug, and we pleasantries, right? Farewells, and that was the end of that night. I'll tell you what else did that night when I got home after I took a shower, and had a really good time. I saw I just finally saw the first 4 episodes of The Old Man. FX's The Old Man, starring Mr. Jeff Bridges. What a fantastic show. And I wanted to sort of kind of close this episode up with this show, which I think is incredibly underrated. I know that sounds crazy. No, it doesn't sound crazy, because many people don't know about it, right? It's a 7-episode series. Now, I haven't done, I gotta be honest with you, I haven't done too much research into it, because I just got so caught up in it. I think it's based on a book. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so Jeff Bridges is in this, and he's a badass, of course. He's just a fucking cool guy. You know what I mean? And so I've heard about the show from Christian Harloff. On YouTube, he was talking about it on his channel. And he was like, "Dude, I'm watching the show called The Old Man. It's fantastic." And I'm like, I was eventually gonna watch it, but it wasn't like on my high top priority list. So one day, I was going through all my stuff, all that content, and I just realized, I have nothing to really watch. So let me get on, because it's on Hulu, right? It's also on Hulu. It's an FX show, but it's on Hulu. And of course, here in Thailand, if you have Disney Plus Hotstar, you get all the Disney shit, and then all the stuff on Hulu as well. So I was like, hell yeah. So I streamed it, and I fucking love it. This is such a damn good show. And of course, it's right up my alley. It's about a former field operative of the CIA, and then there's a whole government shit involved, and there's awesome action, very realistic action. Something that you would expect from someone to handle themselves as like with the same sort of approach to how Jeff Bridges brings into this series, he plays Dan Chase. He plays Dan Chase, and it basically stems from this old kind of wartime in Afghanistan, and he was part of that operation and things like that. So it sort of stems from that. And it sort of also takes, it takes place in modern times, but also there's like flashbacks. And I think the flashbacks where you see the young, young Jeff Bridges, or the young Dan Chase, the main character, of course, is protagonist in this series, is played by Bill Heck. So, which, by the way, to me, Bill Heck was pretty freaking. I mean, I've only seen 4 episodes, so I think there's like 3 episodes left. He did a great goddamn job. Like Jeff Bridges, we know he's cool as fuck. He does his thing, but the way Bill Heck portrays a young Jeff Bridges, I was sold. He is so convincing, right? And on top of that, he just plays the freaking role so goddamn well. And it reminded me while I was watching this on TV, I felt like Bill Heck could play. He could, if they casted him for a Metal Gear Solid movie to play, Snake, Solid Snake, he would be perfect. Be perfect for the role. And I know they've already, they got. Did they get? I don't know if it was a confirmation, but Oscar Isaac is supposed to play Snake apparently in the live action. I don't know if that was a rumor or. Hold on, Metal. I'm just gonna look it up right now, okay? Cause I can. Metal Gear Solid, live action, okay? I don't know. I if I remember correctly. Okay, he did give an update in March, this past March, Oscar Isaac. So yeah, okay, Oscar Isaac is okay. I had to double check on that. He is playing Solid Snake, but I thought if you played the games enough, if you were a fan of the game franchise, the Metal Gear franchise, you would know how over time how when since technology has advanced, the animations and all that stuff and art creatively, and how things have sort of been produced in video games, and how not necessarily to the uncanny valley where it's very difficult to tell between a CGI or sort of drawing or production, I should say, not drawing. What am I saying? The CGI production compared to the real life version of an individual, like things that we've already seen in Star Wars movies and deep fakes in Marvel films and so on and so on. So I think if you could compare a real life actor to the video game version of Solid Snake, dude, I'm telling you, if you watch The Old Man and if you watch Bill Heck playing a younger version of Jeff Bridges as a young Dan Chase, it's so like it just makes sense. It's like holy shit, he could totally play Solid Snake. But of course, Oscar Isaac is he's the man. But Bill Heck just he's got the figure, he's got the stature, the frame, the look, the beard, and the facial features. All I saw was like this guy's Metal Gear. It's like this is Metal Gear right now. I'm watching Solid Snake, busting out his ex-military, CIA operative kind of deal. So that was really cool to watch, and it's pretty dope. And The Old Man, Bill Heck also. He speaks in Pashtun, which I think is I'm pretty sure they're speaking Pashtun. I'm gonna double check on this because I want to get this right, because this is they speak Pashtun, yes, I think you speak Pashtun, but mainly because it takes place in Afghanistan. Well, at least the flashbacks. And Pashtuns, yeah. So, right. So, yeah, definitely, and his Pashtun's pretty darn good if compared to the other speakers who spoke it quite well, almost like very fluently, very native tongue type of skill level, and he did a fantastic job, and so it's just dope. I think he just did to me, I think he sort of steals the show. I think, I mean, we're talking about a cast with Jeff Bridges, with John Lithgow, of course, yeah, another legendary actor, and and a few other familiar faces. But the story itself is so dope. Jeff Bridges playing as this like old retired former field operative, former CIA agent, former military sort of type of figure. And his past comes back to haunt him, kind of deal. But they do it so fucking well. It's so wonderfully I think it's fantastically written. It's great. The direction is fantastic. The performance is obviously it's wonderful. I think the first 2 episodes was shot by who did the first 2 episodes? Oh, he's a fantastic director too. I'm just eating up airtime right now. Directed by John Watts. I think John Watts did the first 2 episodes, which was fantastic. It was John Watts who did the first 2 episodes. It was fantastic, and but all the other directors did a fantastic job as well. So I just think it was just a fantastic watch. I highly recommend it. It's very underrated, The Old Man, and it's totally something that I did not expect. I got to be honest with you. I did not expect this from this particular show because, I mean, maybe I was wrong to have this assumption, like, because, FX has shows like The Americans, which was critically acclaimed. It's a critically acclaimed show, and it's definitely worth the watch. And as of this moment, The Old Man's Rotten Tomatoes score is 95%. 95. I'm telling you, it's that good. This is a very good show, and I love it. And just watch it for Jeff Bridges, man. If that's your prerogative. That was a terrible Jeff Bridges impersonation of Big Lebowski. Holla, legend. That's a OG, triple OG right there. But yeah, the cast is fantastic. The overall production is wonderful, amazing. So yeah, Dan Chase absconded from the CIA and lives off the grid, but then an assassin arrives, tries to take Chase out. The old operative learns that to ensure his future, he now must reconcile his past. The FBI's Harold Harper is called on to hunt him down because of his complicated past with a rogue fugitive. So please check that out. I just read out the freaking synopsis there for you. It released in June. The series is over, I think. No, 7 episodes to 7 weeks. Almost over, not yet. But definitely worth the watch. Please go watch it. It was fantastic. It is fantastic. I highly recommend it. With that said, it's gonna wrap it up for me. I'm gonna wrap things up here. Another fantastic episode. A little longer this week. Again, a lot to talk about. A lot of reflecting of how I approach relationships, or how I approach an individual that I'm interested in and I'm attracted to. Things are different now. And I've learned. You learn from your past. You know what I mean? And you hope to not make the same mistake over and over again. And that's the takeaway here. And I'm all about that positivity, man. So if I'm gonna invest my energy, my effort, and care and love to somebody, it's gotta tick off all the checks, the boxes. You know what I mean? Like the check boxes or whatever. You cross it out or check it out or whatever. Tick up all the boxes, and hopefully you have majority of them, and the other ones you can sort of work on, whether it's work on as in yourself. And if the other person ticks it all off, shit, gold mine, she might be a little crazy, but she fine as hell and amazing in bed. Oh my God. That's usually what happens. Oh my God. Anyways, my past is about to haunt me. I'm going to be the old man soon. So, and with that, I'm going to close this episode out. Thanks for listening in, guys. Thanks for watching if you're on YouTube. And hey, do me a favor, okay? I'm appreciating the support from friends, from strangers, whatever. I love y'all for real. Appreciate y'all. Share it. Do me a favor. Do me a little favor, Go on Spotify or Apple Podcast and give it a 5-star rating. Okay, you know what? Give it a 4-star rating. I'm not even asking for much. Just give me a 4-star. I'm okay. I would love a 5. Please give me a 5. But 4-star is cool. I just want to build a little bit more traffic. You know what I mean? get more ears into it, because I've really been I know we're 22 episodes in, but I really want to bring in guests or reoccurring guests. There's a certain individual who I want as my co-host, but she's reluctant. I don't know why. I'm trying to coax her into this, so hopefully she joins in. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for me here on the House of Moody Vintage podcast. Again, love the support. Thank you for your ears. Even though it's just probably just a handful of you who are actually listening in or watching it on YouTube. But either way, hey, appreciate the support. I really do. Until next time, please take care of yourselves. Please treat yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. As usual, take it one day at a time. Live in the moment. And I'm out of here. Peace.